Good morning and Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a nice New Year's. I thought I'd come on for a little bit and paint either. Well, I guess these things are called fence peekers. I had no idea when I created it there was such a thing. And I saw a post and someone was asking for fence peekers. And when I looked it up, sure enough, that's what they're called. So I'm calling these fence peekers, but it's for my interchangeable fence. There's inserts, and of course there's characters peeking over the fence. So I'll be referring to them as, I guess, fence peekers moving forward. So I'm going to work on something for St. Patrick's Day. I actually have an Easter design as well that I want to do. I do have a winter design for the fence as well. And then I move on to another interchangeable design that I've created. I want to get started on that because St. Patrick's Day and Easter is right around the corner. I would love to create another Valentine's Day, but there's just not enough time. So I'm going to start off by painting this leprechaun's face. I'm going to use warm beige. And I'm just going to go ahead and go over the eyes. It's no big deal. Try and go lightly so I'm not really covering up those score lines a whole lot, because I definitely use those when painting my eyes. It helps keep my eyes on point. And we're going to paint the hands and the nose while I'm at it. I hope everyone's having a good New Year so far. I was going to come on yesterday, but when I got home from work, I just got really busy cooking and just ended up being a little bit too late for me. So I thought I'd come on for a little bit, maybe a couple tops. There's all kinds of bowl games today. Hi, honey. And definitely we'll be watching those. Wasn't that something about New Orleans? Wow. Unbelievable. I have to feel very sorry for the families of those people. Just, wow, what a tragedy. So I want to say good luck to my Buckeyes today. They play at 5. And they're playing the Ducks. And the Ducks beat them earlier this year. The Ducks was actually their first loss, and then it kind of went downhill as far as I'm concerned from there. But Oregon beat them by a point. And I like the Ducks before they came into the conference. So I hope they can pull it off. Congratulations to Michigan, even though I'm not a Michigan fan. You did beat Alabama, and you know, that's all I'm going to say. to Mount Union Purple Raiders in the Stag Bowl. You're going to be playing a pretty tough team. So, December and January, well, the start of January, well, it even actually goes into towards the end because the national championship, I think, is January 20th. It's all about college football, just like March Madness is about college basketball. And we are big sports fans here. I personally rather watch college than professional. I think I might even try and rosy up his cheeks. Been working on some designs. And they're pretty darn cute. So for anyone that decides to watch this live or after the fact, if you want to type in #replay, let me know you were here. I would greatly appreciate it. But if there's something you're interested in, don't be afraid to say so. I'm open to design suggestions. I kind of wanted to comment to the person that asked for the fence peeker, but that would be, it was in another design page and that would be not appropriate. I have a long weekend, so I do not go back until Monday. So between all the bowl games, I plan on doing lots of painting. And hopefully I can get this St. Patrick's Day insert done. This is going to be, I think this will be an easy paint. The other one I think will be kind of a little bit easy too. There is some detailed stuff in this design. Something else I'm going to start working on, some tier tray. I've been meaning to start designing some tier tray stuff for quite some time. So you want to know what your thoughts are on that. I love tier tray stuff. my paint on there pretty thick. A lot thicker than I normally do. Let that dry real good, and then I'm gonna sand these. Do some dry brushing on them. So what did you folks think about the moose? If you watch my other video, when I was actually painting that, I created a moose. That was the very first thing I ever created when I started doing digital files for painting. Did a moose porch greeter. And I've actually been creating designs for many, many years. Started off, and I still have my shop. Doing embroidery design, machine embroidery designs. And I like the characters that I created for embroidery. As a matter of fact, I actually kind of use some of them with painting. So if you're familiar with my embroidery shop, you might recognize the similarity in some of the characters I create. I actually started digitizing embroidery designs 10 years ago. Everybody loved my snowman. And still do. It's pretty popular seller. A lot of, most of my embroidery designs were applique with a few red work, which I really like the red work. I wish I could somehow figure out how to create red work for painting. Because I really like the look of that. Well, to the people that have to work, I mean, I hope you got an extra long weekend. When the holidays fall in the middle of the week, it kind of stinks. I mean, where I work was, half the people were gone yesterday. It was like that the day after Christmas and before on Christmas Eve, and everybody wants to get started. All right, I'm gonna let that dry really good. While that's drying, I'm gonna just go ahead and paint the eyebrows and the mustache. I like to use a color called Persimmon. It's a darker color of orange, but it's not too bright. I have to say, orange is probably one of my least favorite colors. But Decor has some really nice colors of orange, really nice shades. And it always takes a few coats of the orange coverage. It doesn't cover very well. Alright. Let's see if I can get a decent dry brush on these cheeks. I like to use a color called Terra Coral. And I didn't put any score lines on the face of the because I want you to be able to put, you know, the mustache up however high or low you wanted. I mean, you don't want to go below this, okay? But it gives you, you know, a few options. It doesn't lock you in. I like to kind of keep mine up a little bit higher. So that's what I kind of like. You just want to load your brush up really, really good. And then you need to wipe it off really, really good. And I press pretty hard onto my napkin to really get this paint off. And I'm pressing down because you don't want a big glob of paint. And I just kind of I like to go in a circular motion, and I'm touching ever so lightly. And I'm making my circle bigger as I go out. And I just want his cheeks to be pretty light in color. I'm not looking for really bright cheeks. And you just repeat the process over again, loading up your brush, and then really rubbing out your paint. And I'm going to do some shading on his face as well. But don't be tempted to press really, really hard when you're brushing, because you might end up getting too much paint. You'll get a spot that's like too much paint, and you probably won't be happy with that, but that's pretty good. And just make sure you clean out your brush really, really good. Rinse it off in some water and just keep rubbing it to get the paint out. And also, too, that kind of helps dry up the brush a little bit. Because, I mean, we will use it again. So. Okay, I know that I want to mix some flesh and burnt sienna together to, let me do this mustache a little bit more. Well, I still have my paint out here. I mean, we'll be painting the beard, but I still have paint on my plate, so instead of wasting it, get a good coat on there. Okay. I know I want to mix the flesh color with some burnt sienna. Just kind of looking to darken the flesh just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but enough. Like I said, I'm just using this as a shading color. And also for his hands. So I want it to be just a tinge darker than the flesh itself. And I'll water it down pretty good. But if I have to go back and darken it up, I will. Or lighten it up. And I'm just gonna go around the sides, top of the face. I might have to darken this up. We will see. Like I said, I wanted it a little bit darker than the flesh, but this might not be dark enough. Won't really know until it dries. I'm going to shade on the top, what I consider the top part of the hands. Just to darken them up a little bit. Then I'm walking the float down a little bit. But see how just mixing that burnt sienna and the flesh color just makes a really good shading color. Definitely need more. I kind of want my float wider as well. We'll see how that does once it dries. And then I'll go back and I'll do some highlighting on the hands. I'm kind of walking the float over a little bit on the sides just to widen that shading a little bit. Alright. Do a little bit of highlighting. I'm just going to go all the way across the top, but I will bring some shading and go on the left side down around the bottom a little bit. That's just how I highlight my nose. Then I'm just going to do the opposite side of these hands, walking up the float to widen it out a little bit. I'm going to go over his nose just a little bit more. I want a little bit lighter. And then something else you can do is if your highlighting is not bright enough to suit you, there's nothing wrong with mixing colors, well, putting two different colors of highlighting or shading on. You can always go back over that with a white. Let's see how his face is looking. Let's see if we can go a little bit wider and lower. All right. And then I'm going to take some of the shading color and then some of the cheek color, and I'm going to kind of blend it for a different type of shading color for the nose. I don't want it as pink, but I don't want it the exact same color as the shading color. I'm just kind of going on the left side, up top, wrapping it around the bottom, just to give it a different look. And I'll probably expand that after that dries. Let that dry real good. Hello, Happy New Year. I did not sand some of these little pieces. So yeah, I like to use Baltic birch to paint on. And that's what all my wood kits are made out of, is Baltic birch. I just feel you get a smoother surface. Just looks nicer. All right, let me see. I'm going to widen his shading just a titch more on his nose. I'm raying around the bottom a little bit. Actually kind of got rid of the pink a bit more than what I wanted, but that's all right. It's still there. Part of me feels like I need to rosy up his cheeks just a little bit more. And I think I will. I hardly have any paint left. So I just need a drop. Just adds a little bit more color. See how that looks with the mustache. Yeah. Since I have that pink on, I might as well just kind of pinken up. Is that gonna work? The nose a little bit. All right. All right. I might as well go ahead and paint the eyes right now, because my water's a mess. And then I'm gonna paint the beard. I need to paint this. So, since I won't be doing any shading and highlighting, to clean out my water, I might as well go with these darker colors right now. Good morning, Happy New Year. Just want to see how far to go down. Okay. And I'm going to use soft black, and the reason why I like to use soft black is I can actually shade this with black, and it's very noticeable. It might not be that noticeable on the camera, but it's pretty noticeable in person. It'll take a couple coats, as always. Let's see. have a favorite brush when I paint my eyes, and that was not it. I think it's gonna rain all day today. Rained all day yesterday. And windy. If it would have been snow, we would have been snowed in for sure. Kind of missed my market edge at the bottom. Okay, let those dry real good. See how much of this beard I can get painted, and then I need to empty my water. I'm going to try and use the sponge as much as I can. Got a little bit close there. A little bit closer than where I would like. I personally prefer to use a paintbrush when painting. I'm an old school painter. But I know it can be time consuming. So I do try and go back and forth here. And then I'll get up closer with my paintbrush. I don't really do a whole lot of St. Patrick's Day designing. I'm not really into St. Patrick's Day. And I should be because I'm Irish. But I'm not. And I need to make sure. I'm going to go up so far and then I'll let that dry and put the brim of that hat on to see if it's low enough. And his beard looks pretty bright on screen, but this orange is not that bright. Hey, Lori. How's Tim feeling? Hopefully he's feeling better. What a way to ring in the new year. My brother-in-law is sick. There's a lot of stuff going around right now. That is way too much paint. You know, there's a lot of people sick where I work. Why do you come to work sick? And they're all complaining of the same thing. I don't get it. But I wouldn't go to work sick. That's me. Not at least the way they're talking. That's what sick days are for, personal days, or I don't know. There's a lot of different things going around. I mean, my sister, she works for a stat care, and she named like 5 different things. It's like, holy smokes. No, thank you. This is gonna probably take like 3 or 4 coats of paint. Orange is a bummer. Red is a bummer. Not all shades of orange, but pretty much a lot of them. And then I water down my paint as well, though, which makes having to put more coats on. Because you gotta have a good combination of water and paint in your brush. So you can move the paint around. And that way you don't end up with brush strokes. That's blotchy, blotchy, blotchy. And don't be tempted to put the paint on really, really thick, because you don't want to do a gazillion coats, because you'll end up, you'll set the brush stroke, it won't be a nice finished painted surface, unless that's what you're into. Oh, it's 11:30 already. One of these days, I think I will try another gnome leprechaun, and this time paint his beard orange with the rake brush. I'm kind of curious how it would turn out. Trying to think if I've seen anybody paint a leprechaun gnome and make his beard orange using a rake brush. I know some of this beard you're not going to be able to see because it's going to be behind the fence, but it's not a whole lot. So I kind of rather just be safe than sorry and have to go back and try and paint when you have the hands glued and so forth and so on. Playoffs. But if they can stay healthy, that was weird. If they can stay healthy, they're gonna do good. I'm wondering if my screen went black because I asked the score if it'll even let me save my video. I know I've asked scores before, but maybe things have changed. Maybe they need to crack down on people posting Yeah, that was weird. Oh, it's gonna be a breakfast. Oh, I bet just because I said indeed. I betcha. I'm not a big fan of his. I was when he was with Cleveland, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's still a little bit blotchy here and there, but I'm about done going over this. I mean, I do plan on highlighting steps of the beard a little bit. That's why I didn't paint his coat. Normally I would have painted the coat first. But the green's just as bad as far as trying to put coats on. So I'm gonna probably either dry brush or try and float a little highlighting on the tips of his beard. Okay. I'm gonna call that good for his beard. I need to empty out my water. And then when I come back, we'll start doing a little bit of highlighting, and let me make sure his mustache is okay. Yeah. We'll do a little bit of highlighting and shading on his beard. Let me just check this too. I didn't do that. Ew. See, I didn't get down far enough. Crud, crud, crud. All right. I was going to check that and I didn't. All right. I will be back shortly. Hopefully you stick around. see where I'm at. I am going to do some shading up there, so that should be pretty good. I'm not going to go over that again. Let's see. Do a little highlighting with some tangerine. On the tips of this beard. And I'm not going to be on here much longer. The bowl games are starting here around 1 o'clock. I don't like how that came out at all. What the heck is that? Huh. That's interesting. Alright. Try a different. Just want it to be pretty minimal. I'm just going to go on the outside edge. Kind of swirl it around the curve. I might come back on later on today after the bowl game. It just depends. Ohio State loses, I don't know. That'll be disappointing. I'm feeling pretty confident with them today. Because if they don't win, I don't know. I think the coach's job might be on the line, especially when they lost to Michigan again. So I might even throw in here some, whoa. Well, let me see about that. Oof. Yeah. Hopefully that fades. Let me see. I was actually thinking about throwing in a little yellow. Yellow is a good highlighting color. Some type of shade of yellow. I might have probably done some golden straw on orange as well. Throwing a little lightness here and there. I might try it. Let's see how this looks once it dries. Could be an epic fail, or it could be a good choice. We will see. I'm just going to do the top part. Whoa. Wow. I hope that fades. And that really faded. Let's see, I'm put a bunch of coats on. So I'm going to try some golden straw. We're going to see what happens. Or is that really light? I think what I'll do is blend these together and see what I get. I'm just kind of going around the curve. So I'm just mixing a little bit of this tangerine, a little bit of golden straw, trying to get just a lighter color, and I'm blending it really, really well. I don't have enough water on my brush. Only not having enough water on my brush is never a problem. See, I'm blending all the out, trying bit more yellow than what I wanted. I don't know. That might have been a bad choice. It's kind of hard to tell until you put it all together. I definitely think this mustache is a little bit too bright to suit me. So what I did was I just mixed a little bit of persimmon and tangerine together. And it's just a titch lighter than the base coat. So it brightens it up a little bit. But doesn't make it look too yikes. And I think I'm going to, I say burnt sienna is the color. Let me double check that. But it says burnt sienna, I believe, is the shading color for persimmon. I think I want to do just a little bit of shading around the space. But I'm going to try and water it down and blend it really, really good. Running out of paint and water. And that's what happens sometimes when you blend it really, really well. But you've got to blend your paint. You just can't take it from your plate and put it on. Because you'll get very harsh lines. I think the mustache is actually going to cover that. Yeah. So what I need to do is decide where I want that. And then I need to shade. Kind of don't really have that in the center, do I? I'm just trying to get my shading line, and then I'm going to go back around and do a better job. Get the shape of where the mustache is going to go. Kind of missed my mark. And I think after I shade this beard and mustache, I'm going to call it quits for now. That wasn't very good. Glad I got my line up higher than I needed. I know I want to shade under where his nose would go. Let's see where I'm at, 'cause it's kind of looking a little brutal. Not too bad. Can't really hardly see it. might be looking at this and going, yikes. But once you glue the mustache on, it'll pull it all together and look a lot nicer. That don't look bad. I might just get some darkness. Do a little dry brushing right in there just so I can create a shadow. I might watch, I got paint on my I'm just being extra cautious on this dry brushing because I don't want to get too much paint on there. And then I'm going to have to go back with my base color, and we know how many coats I took. I think if I get that on there dark enough. Well, I went down a lot farther than what I wanted, but is. I mean, I could. Yeah. All right. See if I can lighten it up a little bit. See, I'm not wiping my paint off good enough. And I'm not allowing my paint to dry. All right. That's better. Okay. That being said, it's almost 12:30. I'm gonna get off here for now. And I may or may not be back on later on today. It's hard to say. So I definitely will be on tomorrow. I'll be on late morning. And then I'll be on again later on. So I do hope you will choose to join me. Let's see here. I mean, this is where we're at. So, didn't get as much done as what I wanted, but he's looking pretty cute. And he's almost done. All we have to do is the hat band, jacket, and the buckle, and he's good to go. But I'm really liking him. Yeah, I'm really liking him. I need to dot his eyes. Let me do that before I skedaddle. Gotta have the dots in those eyes. You always want fresh white paint. It might be a little bit bigger than what I really wanted, but we now let me put them all together here. Believe it or not, those eyes make all the difference in the world, and the dots. But yeah, he's not looking too bad. I might even rose cozy up his cheeks a little bit more. I don't know yet. But it's looking pretty cute. I like him. So, all right. Well, I'm going to get off here. Hopefully I'm able to come back on later on today. If not, definitely tomorrow. And I hope either way you decide to join me. So until then, take care. Bye-bye.